I think we're good. This is another episode of Draconian Combat. Today we have Mr. Nice Guy, Adrian Mumphrey,
Yo,
going to give us an announcement about his upcoming fight. Going to shed some more light into his career, what's going on, things of that nature. We have my friend Michael, and we're going to break it down. There's a lot of stuff to talk about: RDC, UFC, a couple things to talk about. But first, we want to give the floor to our guest, Adrian. I think we had a show maybe 6 weeks ago, maybe. But Adrian, how you doing? How's it going?
everything's going well. Going really well, actually. Great camp, great environment in the gym. Got 3 other guys fighting May the 10th. So all around in the gym and in life and aspect, everything's going well. But the big news and the big announcement I've been wanting to make. So I have a couple of close people know I was supposed to fight for the 185 belt against Joseph Smith. If you've been following my career, Joseph Smith is the only guy to defeat me. And I wanted that rematch, but God had a different plan for me. And that fight was pulled. I don't really know why. That's none of my business to tell. Hopefully everything is going well with Joseph. So all respect to him. But the replacement, which is an even bigger fight, in my opinion, for what I want, is I get to fight Trey for the 185. They're saying interim title, but title or not, I'm fighting Trey Frazier May the 10th. Stacked card. Got 3 of my homeboys. Cody's defending his belt against Maddox. No disrespect to Maddox, but Cody, every time Cody's on the card, it's a banger. And then I got JJ and Tyler, and it's so crazy to me that I finally I got my first title fight on the card with JJ and Tyler, because right when I first started training, JJ and Tyler were there, and I've been watching them grow along with me, and it's just going to be cool to see them debut. So JJ and Tyler are going to put on a show that y'all aren't going to want to miss. Same thing for Cody. And then you got me fighting Trey. It's going to be a great card. Great 4-0 sweep for Team 1.
That's a banger card. JJ, Cody, Maddox, Adrian, Trey. These are the fights we want to see, and they're making it happen in RDC. Obviously, the last fight went through, so to speak. So you guys are fighting at 185 now.
Yeah, 185. The third time's a charm, as I said on my Facebook.
Third time.
But there's a reason that I kept getting postponed.
No, that's a good point. And I guess my question to you is, how are you feeling about this fight? You know that Trey is the undefeated guy, 8-0 if I'm not mistaken. People in Arkansas don't think he can be beaten, but we saw you step in there with someone like what's homeboy's name?
Who are you talking about?
Who Adrian
talking
last
about Joe?
Yeah, we saw you step in there with Joe. Yeah, you fought Joe, who I think is bigger than Trey.
Yeah.
But you've been in there with some monsters. So what's your perspective going into this fight? How do you feel? Obviously, you don't have to make the same weight cut to 170. How do you feel?
I feel fantastic about the fight. So I was supposed to fight him, I think, in January and then February, and then now I finally get to fight him in May. I think this is the best card for it, because now I get to fight him in Hot Springs. It's still closer for him, but Hot Springs feels like my second home. Besides Tyler, I love being in Hot Springs, so I'm glad with that venue. Probably the best venue. El Dorado has a good warm up. I like the back in El Dorado, but Hot Springs, just because of the nature, what you can do in fight week and all of that. Hot Springs is the best place to fight at, so that's number 1. Number 2 is also the card. Cody's on the card, and before I even had my first fight, me and Cody, we manifested that we were both going to win titles on the same card, and I wanted it to be Trey, and I finally get to do it against Trey. So I know it's crazy to see him, to hear, because, Trey is a really tough fight, great fighter, great human, respect to Trey. But even before I had my first fight, I knew that he was the toughest fight, and I knew that fight was going to be a big, quiz or pre-assessment, should you say. Not the test yet, because I'm still an amateur, so I don't think.
But Adrian, I think that's my point, right? Because you're, I think, 2 or 3 fights in your career.
Yeah, I'm 3 fights in. I'm 2-1.
And on paper, Trey is not somebody you're supposed to fight on paper. But you're jumping into this matchup for the title. You're going for all the chips. So, sort of, what's your mindset? I understand you respect Trey, but it's like, hey, I have to do what I have to do. I have to establish myself in RDC, establish myself as the title champion. What's your mindset?
Well, I mean, it's just you're an amateur for a reason. I mean, I'd rather, worst comes to worst, what I lose to Trey, the #1 welterweight in the nation for amateurs. Wow. I mean, I'll go 2-2 as an Ammy. That's the worst that can really happen. We're amateurs. For me, I want to make it to the UFC or one. I just really want to see how far I can take fighting to provide for me and my family. So for me to do that, I got to take the tough fights. I think taking easy fights, I know I can win all my fights. So shall I say just taking easier fights, I guess, will only build my confidence. But I'm going to get even more confident knowing that, okay, I just got in the cage of someone who's ranked #1, who everybody was afraid of. I mean, you can say the same thing for Joseph. When I fought Joseph, he still is undefeated. That was my second fight. I was 1-0. The first ever fight I ever watched in person was Joseph. I don't remember who he fought. I just knew that, dude, I'm not even going to lie. My first time watching Joseph fight, I was like, wow, I do not want to fight that dude. Mm-hmm. And I ended up fighting him on 10 days' notice. And that was my second fight. I mean, we're amateur for a reason. I don't know why people duck. I've had a couple of people. I'm not going to call out no names. Just I don't know. I'm a respectful kid, I guess. But there's been a lot of ducking, and there's just no reason to duck as an Ammy because you're an Ammy for a reason. Like, if you really want to go pro, if you really are who you say you are, taking the tough fights is how you show it.
No, that's a good point because as I've been matchmaking for a couple of promoters, these guys have been ducking left and right, and they make fights hard to make. It just is what it is. It's a tricky game, and you realize who's really here to fight versus who isn't. But your first opponents aren't slouches. I guess that's what I'm kind of getting at. And if I was your manager, I'd be like, "Hey, Adrian, you kind of want to slow it down, dog. Like, this guy's 8-0. Joseph's a monster, but you're stepping into the fire as a youth and just getting right to it." And so I wanted to applaud you for that because that takes a lot of heart. People, what happened last time, you just couldn't make the fight. It is what it is. You got sick. It is what it is. And so people will accuse you of ducking, blah, 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 whatever. You know how it goes. But did you want to we'll go back to the fight coming up, but did you sort of want to address just what happened in the past? Like, hey, that just wasn't my day. I was sick.
It was just a bad weight cut. Things happened. But I know for a fact this one's going to happen for sure. At least on my end, I know I'm going to be there May the 10th. I mean, I was training hard for all the other ones. It's just the energy. The fact that I finally get to be on the same card as Cody and we're both fighting for titles, everything we manifested. Like I said earlier, I've been coaching JJ and Tyler. Like, I remember when I was the JJ. I remember being 17, taking my smoker, still not coaching or nothing. And now I'm coaching. And now I'm cornering him in his smoker and in those hard rounds. And to get to watch JJ and Tyler, because I'm telling you, Tyler is fighting someone I believe who's 1-0, trains out of West Side MMA. If you're from Arkansas, you know that gym. That's going to be a banger fight. Tyler's going to put on. JJ, I believe, is I'm not even going to say it, but he's fighting someone who's had a couple of fights, and I'm telling you, they're going to put on. Ethos is a great gym. I'm glad I get to watch people I've coached finally get to debut, and then I get to watch Cody piece up with Maddox, and then this is the best card, the best energy for me to fight Trey, I feel like. Everything is going the way I like to look at fights, and the energy and the momentum and the wave, it's all kind of swinging to me.
Do you think you have – Michael, go ahead. It's been a minute.
Yeah, about damn time. No, I got a question because you said it in the very beginning. You said interim belt. So is the 185 kickboxing belt vacant right now?
I just read. I don't know, bro. I have no clue. All I know is when I saw the post, first of all, I was looking at this me in general, but then I started looking at the background and it said the interim title. But yeah, I don't know what that is. That's
So
just what
did
the
you
photo
just find
said.
that out as the poster was posted?
Yeah.
You did. Okay.
And,
So
and,
it's sounding like it's vacated and it's up for grabs, which means Trey can be double champ, and this can be your chance to capture gold at 185. Probably a healthier weight for you not cutting, so Trey's moving up.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting matchup for both of you, I think.
Yeah.
do
But I
you
mean,
think you
if
could,
Trey,
go ahead.
well, I mean, it's not going to happen, but if it did, like if Trey had that belt, I don't know how that would go because if Joseph is still the 185 belt, I guess, I don't know if Joseph, I think it's just vacant. I don't think it is the interim. I think it's just the 185 title. Because I think it's just been a couple of typos. Because I think Cody and Maddox's fight poster said pro, and it's an AMI. So I think it could have just been I don't know.
So
I just
let me ask you a question. The fight's at 185 though.
Yeah.
That we know for sure. Okay, so
For sure. And
forget the word intern, forget the word belt. It's a 185 fight, and you guys are fighting each other for sure.
Yes, sir. 5 rounds.
Okay. 5 rounds. No, that means there's a belt then. You don't just fight 5 rounds.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said it's a title fight.
Yeah, hold on now. That means it's a belt. That's for a belt. You don't just fight 5 rounds.
I don't think it's the interim. I think it's just a vacant. Either way, I'm fighting Trey 5 rounds for a belt. One of us are gonna have a belt.
And Dewan, we know we're having you on the show this Saturday, but we just want to put the word out there. Hey, make this for the real belt. Adrian, Trey, these are the best guys in the game. So, Dewan, this is just a message to you. I think we should make this for the real belt, not an interim belt.
Well, we don't know what happened to Joseph, though. Joseph could just be hurt.
But yeah, exactly. We don't know what happened to Joseph, though. So, Dewan, I understand you might have to, juggle some things. But Joseph, I'm not sure how you're faring right now, but I hope all is well. Obviously, Adrian does, Mike does. But at the same time,
let me just speak real quick. He would have to vacate it temporarily because, I mean, let's say Trey wins the fight. What's he going to fight, Joe?
That's what I was trying to say. I got to put myself in an awkward kind of position. So I didn't know how to word that, but that's what I'm saying. Either way, I don't think the belt really matters. I just get to say I get to fight Trey. That's all that kind of matters to me.
Okay, we're going to keep it at that because I actually like that fight, and I don't care how it's happening. I just know it's going to be good. So I appreciate that. Fight. Yeah, for sure.
That's a real great fight on paper when you watch the film. And
if you know.
Adrian, do you have any expectations, so to speak, as far as, man, Trey is going to be bringing – we got a comment. We got a comment. Edit Black Venture says Trey is going to smack the life out of him. Adrian, what do you have to say to that? You can say what you want to.
I don't know. If this was a video game or Xbox, I'll probably just report him, get him chat banned.
Oh, man.
I can't do that, though. So, I don't know. I guess you just got to tune in May 10th. I don't get paid for the ticket sales, but if you really want to see me get smacked, May the 10th.
Hey, I got a question, man. So
yes, sir.
This is at 185, okay? So you're not really cutting weight.
Right,
neither is Trey. Because I don't know what Trey walks around at, but I would think that Trey – because Trey's so active and athletic, I would say that he walks around pretty close to 170. So he's really not cutting 20 pounds to get down to 170. So I think he's probably at a walk around weight, which is healthy for him too. So you going in this fight against him, do you see a benefit with it being at 185 because you have a little bit more energy, to eat more, drink more fluid, stuff like that, and be at a more natural weight?
I mean, I guess I just don't have to cut weight. That's the only benefit I see.
Okay. I don't know where Harrison went, but okay.
Yeah, that's kind of why I paused a little bit. But no, I don't really see that much of a benefit of it. I mean, it's just a weight class. It would be a whole lot. Fighting would be a whole lot more fun if there was no weight classes. But I guess I don't want to fight a Francis Ngannou, so I'm not mad about weight cutting or anything like that. I mean, I don't know what he walks around at, but yeah, it should be a good fight for both of us. We should both be healthy and 110%. So. I guess the only benefit of it is I get to fight fully 110% Trey. I get to get the best version of Trey.
When did you hear about this fight though? Like, was it recently? Like the
Monday.
last couple of weeks?
Last Monday. So I was
Last Monday. Okay.
Yeah, I was actually training. Like this was like while we were in class. Cody got a phone call. It was DeJuan. I didn't even hear a name. I saw his face. I was like, "Ooh, is that about me?" Probably not. 10 seconds later, he was like, "Yo, Joseph pulled out Trey 185," which I kind of assumed. I mean, I don't know who else I'm going to fight. I'm only going to fight Trey or Joseph. So I mean, I don't know. So I kind of knew it was going to be Trey once he told me Joseph pulled out, and I was like, "Yeah."
Did you want to touch on the first fight with Joseph?
Well, it was I think it was like, so it's been like a year now, a little over a year. I don't know. It was a lot. It was a fun, tough fight. Fought with no mouthpiece.
It looked like you guys went to war.
It was a fun. That was my first time. Like, I was surprised because I got to go up a weight class. He was very bigger than me, but I don't think I looked intimidated. I think a lot of people in my position knowing, okay, I'm 1-0, I'm a prospect, but he's a prospect. Like, he's fought, I think he was like 3-0. He's been beating guys for 5 rounds. The first time I ever watched him fight, the dude that he beat up on was like all bloodied up, and it was bad, bro. So I guess anyone else in my position would have been nervous, but I'm fighting for a reason. I know where my future can be at. So
none of that stuff made you nervous. Like, man, he just beat the heck out of him. Should I step?
Not really, just because that's not me. Like, I don't know. Like, that wasn't me that he beat up in that cage. So I can only control what I can control, and I can't control what that dude did in the cage or what he did in camp or anything. So, I mean, it just gives me more to read on. I get to see someone's strengths or something like that, or their weaknesses, but it didn't really make me nervous. I still saw good stuff that I liked in the videos I was watching. So,
got you, Michael. Did you want to add on to that?
Yeah. So when you fought Joe, what would you say that you took from that experience? Because I know you took a loss, but what would you say that you took from that experience from fighting Joe that you can carry into this fight with Trey?
Being more disciplined in my camps, or just like in life in general. I mean, I wasn't in the best place, but I mean, I don't want to say that because that's I feel like every fighter says that. I mean, every fight is different. You're not like, I don't know. Every camp is different. That's why I love fight camps. Like, even though I didn't make it to the fight in January or February, I still had a fight camp. So mentally and like spiritually, you're just in a different place. But what was that question one more time? I'm sorry.
I guess my question was, so you took a loss from Joe, and from that experience and learning from that fight, what's something positive you can take from that fight to apply to fighting somebody like Trey? So
yeah, like I said earlier, being more disciplined in camp, and there's I guess just actually making that walk. I got to make that walk, and I got to feel the energy of fighting someone who's a really good fighter. So I guess just not being as nervous because I've already made that walk. I've already done it before. I'm just gonna be myself and just put in the work outside of May the 10th, and I'll be all right.
You got more comments coming in. Trey is gonna beat Adrian like a stepchild.
A stepchild? Why stepchild?
I know, right?
Why stepchild? Why not just like a regular child?
As if that's better.
Like the stepchild? Me personally, if I had a stepdad, my stepdad, no, he's not punching on me, no sir. I'm with my stepdad's ass. I'll tell you that right now.
And that's what we're going to get across, because you haven't been acting scary in your whole career. You've been fighting. Like I said, I would say you're jumping into some fights too soon. I'm like, man, you fighting Trey? Oh, you fighting what's his name? It keeps escaping me, dog.
Joseph.
I'm like, yeah, that's kind of soon. But you're stepping into those fights, and I think that's really commendable. And I guess especially at the amateur level, what's your perception about amateurs, right? Because I've been matchmaking for like the last 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and these dudes duck fights like left and right. Not even saying they have a valid excuse. I'm not going to press anybody, but I'm just saying, like, guys aren't injured. They just stepping out because, man, that guy's name, his last name sounds like Urmagomedov. Nope, I'm not fighting him. That's how these guys move. So what's your mentality? And then we'll jump to another topic because I kind of think we addressed it, but it's just like, hey, if I lose my amateur fights, I lose. I still got to go pro. The pro and amateurs are different things. What's your mentality, so to speak?
Well, there's two different mentalities for that. So I like how I was telling Mike earlier, like before we even went live, if you're like an amateur and you're kind of just doing it as a hobby, because you can be an amateur fighter and not want to go pro and make it to the UFC or something. You can just be an amateur fighter. And then I guess like maybe taking an easier fight or fights that benefit you more could be better because you're not really trying to do this to see how the best version. You're not doing this to become the best version of yourself. I'm fighting so I can become the best version of myself. So there's no reason to waste my time just fighting like 12 cans in a row, 20 cans in a row. I mean, you get the confidence because you beat them and you get that fight camp, so you still get better. But I'm telling you, I get 100 times better fighting Trey because there's no pressure, by the way. I have zero pressure coming in on this fight. If I'm fighting those scrubs and I'm like 18-1, they're like, okay, Adrian can't lose to this guy because that dude's like 7-7. You're 18. You shouldn't be losing. But me fighting Trey, like you said earlier, I'm 2-1. He's 8-0. He's this, he's that. If anything, he has the pressure. He has more to lose, losing to a guy who's already lost his teammate. So all the pressure's on him. I want to be a professional fighter. I cannot be a professional fighter if I cannot get past this certain region of amateur fighting. So I want to test myself and I want to see how far I can make this. Fighting fights like Trey are so much better than fighting the 12,000 ranked guy from Arkansas. You know what I mean? I just want to be a better fighter, better human, and I get that from a camp fighting the #1 welterweight compared to a scrub.
That's a good point. Michael, did you want to address that?
No, that's true. That's facts. Because you could go for an easier fight. Trey's the fight to go for. I think it makes it interesting because it's going to be at 185, and you're not cutting really, so you're not really draining your body. But then at the same time, Trey's not cutting either, so Trey can really live comfortable right now coming into this fight as well. So
we're going to actually see what his like walk around weight is, I guess.
Yeah, it's going to make an interesting fight for sure. Both
Did you take anything from that Cody fight, Adrian?
This is what Cody's told me. I'm not going to say anything right now.
Yeah,
but this
not to put everything on blast, but you know what I mean.
But just watching it, it was kind of like a different. I was watching it on Facebook Live in the hospital room, like on my phone through like a crowd angle. So I didn't really get to see too much, but it was a fun fight. I mean, Trey looked good. He got the job done, but I still see some things that I feel like I'm hoping to execute on May the 10th.
Hey, me and Harrison are going to do a live watch along, so we're going to be watching.
That's going to be lit. Y'all should do that for like, are y'all doing that this weekend for the card, for the UFC card?
If I'm not working, then yes.
The plan
y'all should do that for that pro card, though, because that entire RDC card is.
Yeah, we're doing it for that May 10th card for sure.
Isn't Chauncey on it too? Chauncey's
the main event.
Hell yeah. So, yeah, that's going to be a stacked card. That's going to be – y'all make sure y'all tuning that. Who's ever tuned in right now watching that live, make sure you see that. May the 10th. Watch along. You can watch me get whoever said that in the comments. You can watch me maybe get smacked up. Maybe.
So somebody said Trey has body fat under 5%, which means like he's gonna be in better shape than you. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Who said that?
Dude, I don't know about better shape. I don't know about better shape because I feel cardio wise I feel really good. But I mean that dude really doesn't have that much body fat. But I don't know about better shape. I mean muscles don't win fights.
Muscles don't win fights. I think a lot of people think that's the case, but those are casuals, right? Hey man, is it May 10th?
Yes, sir.
May 10th. We got Adrian Trey. That's gonna sell regardless. We got Cody Maddox. That's gonna sell.
Bro, you naming the undercard right now. That's fire.
Yeah, that's just the undercard.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know it was undercard. That's already fire. So I guess you clowns need to tap in, buy the pay-per-view. If you're watching this video, buy the pay-per-view. buy some tickets, do whatever you can to support, because this is actually a really good fight. And I think people should respect that, but people don't respect fighters taking fights. And it's just like, dude, the UFC fans of today, me and Michael, we grew up in like the Anderson Silva prime age, like when Anderson Silva was in his prime, John Jones was in his prime. Me and Michael, I was watching fights at Michael's house with his pops. We were watching those fights together. Dude, it's a different era, Michael. Could you elaborate on that?
Well, it's a different era because it's evolved so fast. Like, since we've been in, I'll give you an example. So we were watching Forrest Griffin fight Rampage Jackson for a championship fight. That's at 205. Now we have people like Ankalaev and Alex Pereira. You know what I mean? And then also, to give context to that, look at the women's division. First off, Dana White said, women would never fight in the UFC. Then he brought on Ronda Rousey. Women's division since Ronda Rousey has evolved ginormously, like striking, grappling, everything. So, since we started watching it when we were younger, like it's not only is it a fast growing sport, but the newer generation is evolving at a fast rate.
I think like you get more people in my generation also who get to see fighting at an earlier age. You know what I mean? So now, back then, people would just put their kids in and me teaching the kids class, I can kind of see this a little bit. Back then, people were just putting their kids in like karate and stuff. But now you got kids doing jiu-jitsu or kickboxing since they're the age of 5. So, I mean, you get elite level prospects at like the age of 15 because they've already been doing it so long and they've been in a good gym and a good environment.
Yeah, they're treating it like they're starting to treat MMA like wrestling. Like when I was in school, we'd always have a few wrestlers in wrestling that have been wrestling since they were like 4. You get what I mean?
That's now why you're getting whooped.
Bro, I wrestled at 145, bro. I wrestled at 145, man. One of the hardest divisions in wrestling.
Yeah, and that's like
I was wrestling state champions, getting my ass. I had wrestled a state champion who had Tourette's. Lifting me up, and slamming me and shit. Like it was, bro. I had got my ass kicked a lot in wrestling, bro. But I was wrestling top people, bro. Like I'm telling you. So don't hate on me. You quit freshman year, so don't hate on me.
Hey, Mike would have took me down. That's all I'm saying. He would have got me down probably the first 10 seconds. Right when I'm already taken down.
Hey man, Adrian, I wrestled some hard people.
Those wrestling rooms, at that time, I think I run track. No, I hadn't run track yet. So I was just trying to get into some physical activity. And then you have wrestling, and these dudes are in shape. Those practices with the Michael knows, we were in that room. It was
hot. They turned the heater on.
They turned the heater on.
They said, we're not leaving until all the windows are fogged.
But my fear was like, man, what if a girl sees me in a singlet getting pinned? That's why I quit.
I wasn't thinking about that. Yeah, at the time for me, like I was like looking at wrestling as like UFC because like it was the closest thing in school to the UFC.
The closest thing, yeah.
We didn't have no boxing or no kickboxing. It was football, basketball, soccer, or wrestling. And
then track, because you used to come to the track and field practices and act a fool.
Wait, so time out. Harrison, you were a light skin back then in high school? You acted like a light skin?
I was moving like one.
You were moving like a light skin?
I'm moving like Michael.
But
I'm not trying to see no singlet, but I was moving like one.
Man.
So now we graduate, or like a year later, I picked track and field, which I did for like 2 years. Michael would do track. Michael didn't have a race he ran. He would just show up to practice, stretch, and then leave.
I tried out for the team, but I never made it.
Hey, that was what Michael was on. Something different, dog. But
you know what? I didn't quit wrestling. I did it 4 years. What'd you do after your first year? You quit, right? So you plan on me.
I can't lie.
We was running real. You know what we were doing? We were running miles in the summertime in like the high 90s, and they said we're not finishing till everybody finishes on the time we say we're gonna finish. And guess what? We never finish on time because the heavyweights always fucked it up. So guess what we do? We start over. You were not doing those type of practices. You weren't.
I was.
So before I moved to Tyler, I came from this small place in East Texas called White Oak, And our basketball team in the summer, like right when we started school, so I guess August, which is still pretty much like the summer weather, it's still hot outside. We would have to run miles in bleachers, and it would go up by, I think, 4 every other day. So I think at the end it was 2 miles and 40 bleachers. And you didn't make the mile in time. Like if not a single person could miss the mile. And if this one person missed a mile by a second, we're running the bleachers again. We're running the mile again. And that's just to make the team. So we wouldn't cut you. Even if you were the worst player in the world, you could not get cut as long as you did not quit during miles of bleachers. And stuff like that I can still use to this day in fighting. Because, I mean, 2 different sports, but it's still just life in general. You still learn life lessons. So
that's facts.
No, yeah, I agree.
They breaking and wrestling.
Wrestling is still different than basketball, though. I can't compare.
Hey, bro, they had What you mean by that? Let's touch on that.
Yeah, let's touch on it. Let's touch on basketball
cardio
conditioning, fighting conditioning. Adrian,
yeah,
touch on it. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I bet that wrestling cardio is 1,000 times harder than basketball cardio. Like it's yeah. Now I wasn't about to say.
And I can't shoot I can't even shoot a free throw.
I mean, it's more muscle memory. Like I got so many. Like I could go in the gym right now and probably still make 5 threes in a row. First, easy, no warm ups.
I get my most confidence playing basketball.
No cap.
I get my most confidence playing basketball when I play against Harrison. It makes me feel good because I really just smack them.
Adrian, me and Michael played. We played hoops at like a local park once.
You can't play with me. You can't
this
hang
dude
with me.
was fouling, airballing layups, dude.
He looks like he fouled.
I said, I had the ball like this now.
Throwing 12 to 6 elbows and stuff.
Yeah, throwing 12 to 6 elbows. It's like, Michael, dude, we just playing hoops, dog. But
hey, man, you be talking trash. I don't want to lose.
Michael wasn't a loser, but that was the type of hoops he was playing, man. And that's a perfect segue into, and I got the video up. UFC press conference today. UFC 314. We have Volk. We have Lopez. We have Patty the Batty. We have Michael Chandler, who I don't like. I'll never like that dude. We got a couple of guys. I have my own reasons. People want to ask me, go ahead. But I have the press conference, so we're gonna review this together. Adrian, we know you're short on time, but
no, I'm good.
We can break this down together. I think that'll make a good episode. And so let me just man, where's this share screen stuff? Oh, share screen. So I think we got it. Do y'all see it?
Yeah, I see it.
Third.
The guy in the red. So
let's
kick it off. We're going to do our commentary on this press conference. I haven't seen a press conference, and I watched the press conferences, but I haven't seen this one, so I want to see what these guys say and stuff like that. So you got Bryce Mitchell, you got everybody. Let's see.
How does Diego match up to some of those fighters you faced before? A very dangerous fighter, a very aggressive, dangerous fighter. Obviously, great jiu-jitsu, power in the hands, always looking for the finish. So you've got to respect that and be wary. But I just believe I'm the best, and I'm going to prove that Saturday night.
Do y'all think Volk is done, or is he not done? Because he feels like one of those cases where everybody says, I'm not done, then he gets knocked out again. Do y'all think he's done? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I mean, Ilya's really good, and Islam's really good, but I think Diego might just catch him. I think Volk, I don't know, age is getting up to him. I think fighters are going to have to learn when to call it quits. I think it only takes a couple of really good punches like that, especially at that level of fighting, it starts making you change your career choices a little bit. I think depending on how this goes, Volk could be done.
It's a spooky truth. It's a spooky reality, knowing when you're done as a fighter, especially if you're on the level of like Volk. And I don't think personally Lopez is the guy to do it, though.
I hope not. I'm not really a big Diego Lopez fan.
Yeah, I'm not a fan either, but I don't hate the guy. I have nothing against him. It's just like I just side with Volk. Michael, do you have any thoughts on that?
I'm hoping Volk wins, but Like I don't dislike Diego Lopez neither. Like if he happens to beat Volk, then it is what it is. You know what I mean?
I don't think both of them, like regardless of who wins, though, I don't think they keep the title that long.
You
That
don't think
Evolve
Volk keeps the title?
not that long. I think that Mozart dude. Anyways, they have him fighting like a scrub at the Apex. I think I don't know though, because he really didn't look that good against Aljamain Sterling. I will say that, but I just don't see Volk really being on like I don't know. I think his time's a little done, and then I think Lopez. There's weaknesses that I think the division will find for sure.
Okay, so that's at 145, right, Harrison?
Yep.
So then who do you see holding the title at 145?
Probably Mozart.
He's not good enough. He's not good enough.
I think so. I think it'll be a boring champion, but
It'll be another Bilal. No offense.
nah,
Bilal,
I can't even say, bro. Bilal, people be hating on Bilal though, but he was really out striking Leon.
I was gonna say that
he was, but I mean,
I was gonna
He's
say
still boring though.
Bilal was outstriking Leon, but his out of the ring personality is more funny to me.
Yeah, but Canelo
I've started
boxing.
to realize like he's
oh yeah, I
kind
told
of
Harrison that.
Bilal is actually kind of funny.
Canelo
People have
hands.
their issues with like his Palestine belief stuff like that. I don't really get caught up into that.
No, I don't care about none of that.
But,
Yeah, I
but
don't
Bilal is actually kind of funny because after Leon lost, he's like, "Don't let him bully you, son."
Yeah.
I was like, dude,
He's a troll. He's actually kind
he's
of
a
funny.
troll.
I think it's just some people are good on social media, but I mean, if you're still born in the cage, like you can't,
Hey, but Bilal's been boring for a minute. He just started spicing it up a bit.
He's been boring, but you do.
He can turn it like Usman, but he's got to do it.
It's more about
He's
the
talking about
people
Canelo
backing
hands
him.
and turn it up like Usman when he started knocking fools out.
People thought Khabib was boring, and then he beat Conor McGregor. That shot him into superstardom. Even that
Khabib was never boring.
Khabib was not.
Khabib, even though he was on the ground, he was beating the hell out of people.
Khabib was not Anderson Silva, dude.
Did you hear what I said? I said even if he had you on the ground, he was beating the hell out of you.
Yeah, but there's just a way that the casual perceives that versus a real fan. It's different.
Then that's crazy because there's a difference between getting somebody to the ground and stalling to get points than getting somebody to the ground and making their life hell. And that's what Khabib did. Like he was throwing elbows. He was throwing punches. He was staying
that
active.
Brazilian heavyweight, something Almeida.
Oh, Jalton Almeida. I know you're.
He just holds for control time. I don't think I've really seen him throw a single significant strike on the ground. I've just seen him hold.
I know
Hey,
you're
Harrison, start it up.
He's like a wrestling heavyweight.
But Khabib was doing real damage though. Khabib actually had ground and pound.
Yeah.
I had to take some chicken out the oven, but I think Khabib was never a slouch to me. I'm just saying that.
I know what you mean though. More people would rather see like I guess that Conor on the feet waiting for that. It's more interested when you're waiting for that one, that like Pereira, like when he fights, you just know it takes one. You rather see that than just get ready for a takedown or waiting for a takedown. You know what I mean?
You're right. I think Pereira has that style where there's a sort of anticipation. What's he going to do?
Exactly.
Khabib, it's like, I know he's going to take you down and probably choke you or beat on you. But I just feel like, I'm not trying to take it to that level, but I feel like his status in the Muslim community, the Middle East community, that stuff leveled up. And
yeah, for sure.
Because when people act like Islam is not a star, but Islam's not a Israel Adesanya star, but he's still a star in his community, which is a lot of star power. The same way Taporia is. That counts for something. So, in my mind, though, Khabib, I can't put him on my personal Mount Rushmore. He didn't fight long enough. I still got John Jones, Silva, Demetrius Johnson. Maybe I'll put Khabib in there instead of GSP because GSP was boring, dog. I would have to watch GSP fights and be like, this was entertaining. I was lying. It wasn't entertaining. So,
that's rude.
But Volk, I don't think is boring. And
I like Volk.
We kind of sidetracked, but let's keep watching.
Yeah, press that play button.
Yeah, I know I'm tripping, dog. Hold on.
And for you, Diego, obviously winning the title is something that every fighter wants to achieve. But what would it mean to you to beat a GOAT like Alex Volkanovski?
Y Diego, para vos, el título y pelear por el cinturón es la cosa que todos quieren. Pero ¿qué significaría ganar del mejor del GOAT? Alex Volkanovski.
For me, this is a big, this is a big. Volkanovski is a legend.
I can't take him serious for that cowboy hat.
I follow you
Like, why does he have that on?
for so long time, but now I think it's my time. It's my time for take the belt.
Question for Bryce Mitchell. Bryce, yesterday at Media Day, Jean Silva said you might have to retire this weekend due to brain damage you'll take in this fight. Curious if you have a response for those remarks.
I was born with brain damage, brother. I'll be all right.
What do you make of all the talk he's been doing? You know, you said yesterday that he's not treating you nice. You said he's treating you like shit. Why do you think he's saying these things? Do you think it's to gain favor with the crowd?
O que você fala de tudo que está acontecendo?
I don't
O que ele
care
tá
what
falando?
his intentions are. My intentions are to beat the ever-living hell out of that man.
Who do y'all have for that
Question for
fight?
Jean Silva.
You said what?
Who do y'all have for that fight?
Let's touch on it right now, right? I was talking to Michael earlier today. We were on the phone, and I was like, I don't think Bryce can stand with him. I just don't think Bryce can stand with him. I know Bryce can wrestle, but you're going to be up against it. I don't think John Silva is like a championship level guy, but I think he's pretty good. Those fighting nerds aren't scrubs, bro.
No, I love all of them, bro. I love the Carlos Prates one the most, though.
Prates, I like him especially.
He's fighting Gary, I think, right?
Yeah. UFC Kansas City.
Yeah. And Prates has these physical attributes. Like he's long. He has these long Frankenstein arms. Even the way he fights is entertaining. I like Silva. I like the trash talk leading up to the fight. Do I agree with everything Bryce said leading up? No. But do I like Bryce? I do. But if he gets knocked out, I don't care. I'll celebrate. But I like Bryce. But I just don't think this is going to go well. Like, what can he do to beat this guy? This guy's not like John Jones, but what can he do?
I mean, I gotta, for me, when it comes to Bryce Mitchell fights, it's a little hard because I gotta like this fighting aspect. Person-wise, I respect the Christianity because I am a Christian myself, but with some of the other stuff he said, I really don't even want to touch on right now.
Yeah, we don't have to.
So,
I know. Yeah, we know.
Yeah. Besides that, minus that, especially because of the, who I fight for, but minus all of that, I think this is actually a good matchup for him. Just because, bro, if Ilya couldn't find that shot, I think it's going to be hard for Silva to find that shot, in my opinion. Two different types of boxing styles, though. But, Charles Jourdain was taking him down, like, easy. And he was getting put in a lot of bad spots.
And I was rewatching the Ilya and Bryce fight, I think last week. I was in bed. I was like, let me just watch some fights. And it's not like Ilya had an easy time.
Bro, so a lot of people have been telling me that, like, Bryce was a tough fight for Ilya. I feel like just because he didn't knock him out, though, doesn't mean it wasn't a tough fight.
Right.
Well, all fights are tough, don't get me wrong, but, like, he still kind of dominated that fight, in my opinion.
Who, Ilya or Bryce?
Yeah, Ilya.
Yeah, I think Ilya had control.
You think he was just giving him respect because of Bryce's grappling?
Probably because Bryce got him down, I think, with a single leg or something.
Yeah, in the end of the first round, actually. I think he did, yeah. That was probably the most human. No, because Holloway was kind of piecing him up. And we also watched him get dropped.
I was going to say, Holloway was piecing Topuria up, dude, in the first 1-2 rounds. I gave it to Holloway, and I hate Topuria, but I'm
a huge Ilya fan, bro. I used to not be, but it took me a while. But, dude, I like Ilya.
Here's the crazy part about Ilya. When he fights, his style is top 5 to me. Like, I like watching Ilya fight. I just don't like the dude. So I get on my Twitter, I get on my Facebook, and hate on him every day. What else am I supposed to do? I just hate on the guy. Now, do I still want to watch him fight? Am I going to be one of those haters who's like, man, when's Ilya fighting? Yeah, I'm going to be that guy. But I just don't like him. And I think he's ducking guys at lightweight. But I want to keep going for the press conference because otherwise we'll be talking all day. Let me see.
Obviously, a great reaction for you here in Miami. You know, we've done lots of talking about the talk in this fight, but skill set wise, what threats does Bryce pose to you on Saturday?
E para você, Jean, já foi falado muito. O pessoal tá falando muito. O pessoal tá falando muito. Tem muito. A falação tá muito grande. Mas como em termos de habilidade, a luta em si, o que você vê de ameaça no Bryce Mitchell?
Ei, Miami! Bom, galera, tirando a parte das loucuras que ele fala aí, que eu não apoio o que ele fala nem um pouco sobre nada, mas é um excelente atleta aí, ele já lutou com os melhores, né? Lutou inclusive com o ex-campeão, mas o problema é que ele realmente vai enfrentar um campeão de verdade na vida dele.
Well, folks, aside from all this the talk and everything he says, I don't agree with anything he says about anything. But he is an excellent athlete that has faced tough competition, but he is about to face the toughest competition to face.
Question for Michael Chandler.
Bryce Mitchell, man, he's a character, dog. Throwing up the cross. I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
Hey, Miami's wild. I can't even hear. Speak up, brother. We got.
And here's a guy I don't like.
I don't like him either, bro.
Michael knows my issues with Michael Chandler, and I write a whole paragraph about him. But let's see what he had to say.
Let's go.
Obviously, at Media Day, you said, Patty might be the biggest name in this division. So we haven't seen you fought down for a long time, but you said, Patty brings the eyeballs. We
Patty
also see you
Resilience.
get that smile when you say, Scousers can't get
Winner
knocked out.
gets,
You want to test that. So what have you made of Patty's rise, and what do you expect?
You really think Patty wants
Hey,
that
man,
fight?
all respect to what Patty has done in this sport,
I think
man.
Patty's going to take that fight.
He has earned this spot to be in this
Win or
spot,
lose.
but I have proven over
Be
the
a good
last
fight.
couple decades that I deserve to be in this spot as well. Right here in Miami, Florida, UFC 314. I'm coming to steal the show. This is the people's main event, and I can't wait to do it. Let's go. I'm going to find that chin, and I'm going to find that chin early.
He don't believe anything he's saying, but okay. I'll just keep it.
Similar question for Patty. At Media Day, you said, Charles laid the blueprint out to beat Michael Chandler. And you said there's a bigger chance of you knocking Michael Chandler out than him knocking you out. So what did you see in that fight that leads you to that assessment?
Obviously, we
People like him, dude.
I like Patty.
obviously we game plan for fights. Know what I mean? You watch a lot of tape on your opponent and you study it, and that's what my coaches do, and that's why we get so many wins. There's a lot of tape that we've studied over his UFC career, and I've got so many different ways that I can win this fight. Everyone thinks that I'm gonna get knocked out because I leave me chin high, but I told you this chin's made of granite, lad. I'm not getting knocked out. I've never been knocked out before, but Mike has, and I'll do it again tomorrow or Saturday.
And one last.
Let's talk about it. Adrian, Michael, what do you guys think about this fight? What are your predictions? I got Patty smoking.
win.
It's a good ass fight. I don't want to say it, but I guess I got to go with Patty. I just think it's a good fight for him right now.
I agree.
But I do think it is still a winnable fight for Michael Chandler. I think this is a really 50-50 fight, in my opinion. I think they both have a lot of ways they can win this fight, but Patty does keep that chin very high, especially when he exits every time. And I think he's lying. I think he no way he doesn't have that chin tucked. If his chin is still up in the air, and then Mike could catch him. If not, I know Ilya will catch him.
I mean, Patty can still catch Mike, though.
I think he's so. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Patty's big, dude. Like at 155, Patty's like he's built.
He's a big dude.
He's a solid, thick dude at 155.
He's long too. I think I don't know, man. It's just like I still remember that Patty versus Jared Gordon fight, and I mean,
but that was a while ago.
Yeah, but I think we're watching like a beautiful layout, kind of like O'Malley had tough fights. I mean, Peter Yan is a very tough fight for the belt, but he went from 10-1. I think we're kind of watching the same thing kind of play out with Patty, like Tony Ferguson. Bobby Green's a tough fight. I'm not going to lie. Bobby Green on paper is a hard fight, but that win hasn't really aged that well. And I think right now we're kind of just watching Patty get like a little roadmap when he's really like, I don't know. I'm not behind the hype.
And one of the comments says that they
Michael
think
Chandler
that,
was on the hype when he came from Bellator, though.
I was going to say, one of the
gave him,
comments says they think
three
Michael
opportunities.
Chandler's on PEDs.
I agree. I'm kidding, but he's on something though.
He's on something, man. He's on some Geronimo juice. I don't know what it is.
Not Paulo Costa secret juice.
Yeah, he's on the Paulo Costa stuff, dude. Fighters gonna do what they do, but I'm just saying, I don't think he's running natural.
I don't think he beats Patty. I don't want to. I mean, I know they said I'm not behind the hype for Patty. I still rather see Patty win this fight because there's way better fights that can be made if Patty wins compared to Mike.
No, agreed. I'd rather see Patty succeed than Chandler.
Facts, that too.
It looks like, because I don't want to take up all your time, they got Pitbull talking. Let's see what he had to say.
Man, they need to bring.
Oh
Adrian.
my goodness, man!
As a UFC announcer with a front row seat, I've been.
They're willing to meet in the center of
They
the
wanna talk
octagon,
about,
throw
what's
caution
his
to the
name?
wind, and see who's left standing after. Sometimes we see guys with extended layoffs. They take a round to kind of get their feet under them, feel them
AJ
out.
McKee beat you twice.
Is it
but
safe to say that
He did.
Dominic Reyes is a guy that you're going to play it safe in the first round with, or can the judges take this one
talk
off?
about he's the GOAT from Bellator.
Yeah, dude.
Hello, Miami. Я считаю, это отличный бой. И Доминик как нельзя лучше подходит к
This
тому,
is the guy
чтобы...
he's fighting.
Who is this guy? Is this Volkov or something?
This may be is this the guy? No, who the hell is this
He's
guy?
fighting Dominic Reyes. I don't remember his name, but
I think he fought Yuri recently. He just wearing his bucket hat.
Bro, I need to get a laptop. My phone's so small.
Вернуться. Вы разве видели, чтобы я потихоньку
Oh,
заходил в
yeah,
октагон
Nikita
когда-нибудь?
Krylov, yeah.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be a great fight. I know there's some guys that take time to come
This
back
was
and
supposed to
take
be a
time to
prelim
warm
fight,
up
right?
out there. And I think
Yeah.
Dominic is a great
That's
fight
crazy.
to come back on.
That's a
And
good
have you
fight.
ever
Yeah.
seen me to try and be careful when I come out to fight? Never.
Question for Dominic Reyes. Dominic, you were told at one point by the doctors that they weren't sure if you ever going to fight again, but they also weren't sure that, you know, you were going through something and they weren't sure if you were going to wake up the next day. You talked about riding the wave of emotions and the wave of, the wave of winning going into this. So talk to me about just what it feels like to be
Shut
sitting
up,
on
dude.
that
Ask a
stage
question.
and getting the ovation from this crowd right now.
What's up, Miami? I'm not back, baby. I'm better. I'm out here riding the wave in Miami, man. There's a lot of emotion that goes into a fight. But I'm ready to go. I'm here for war. You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
Essa semana. E por
Let's talk about it briefly. Dominic Reyes, right? He had that tough loss to Jones, and then he kind of went on a downfall in his career. I think he ended up fighting Yuri after. Yuri beat the brakes off that dude. But Dominic
that
showed
was a spinning elbow, right?
Huh?
That was a spinning elbow KO, right?
Yeah, that spinning elbow KO. But Dominic showed so much heart because, dude, he was getting whooped. And he just kept fighting. I was like, dude, you might want to stop. And then Yuri did the It was ugly. But I think he's on a 2-fight win streak.
I think he's on a 2-fight win streak.
Yeah, it might be a 2-fight win streak. What are you guys' thoughts on Reyes? Obviously, I doubt he's coming back for the title, but I guess my thought is to you, Adrian, like a guy who has been down in the mud but is kind of resurged, right? What are your thoughts on that and that mentality?
I mean, I like Reyes. Like, I mean, outside of fighting, he seemed like a cool dude. Sometimes I remember when he won that first fight when he was like losing like 7 in a row. I think it was in the Apex. I don't remember who he beat.
Mm-hmm.
I remember going on his Instagram, and I didn't know he was like a heavy Christian like that.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool to see. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really pay too much in his career that much.
Yeah.
He's just never been a guy that kind of – I'm a casual, bro, I guess.
No, I hear you, though, because he's fallen off, so it's like, why am I going to pay attention to him? But
You talking about Dominic Reyes?
yeah.
I didn't – like when he was like a prospect, like before he was like supposed to fight John Jones, I heard he was like a killer. But when I got into the sport, I kind of watch the fall off of Riyadh's, so I never really paid that much attention to it. But I think I mean, you just got to learn how to let go of those losses when you do lose. I mean, each fight camp is it's a new you. That's what's great about fight camp. So you just got to drop that last fight and, get ready to perform for the next one. So I respect that, him not quitting, and kept trying to rise up, I guess.
No, I feel it. Michael, did you have any comments
about Dominic Reyes?
Yeah,
I like him. I hope he bounces back. I think he had it rough because he had that fight against John Jones, which was close.
He probably stopped training as hard.
He ended up losing, but then he got knocked out by Yuri. He got knocked out by Yuri, and that was crazy.
That Yuri knockout was nasty, bro. That was like prime Yuri, dude. That dude had all sorts of samurai tactics. Wow, wow, wow.
I'm cheering for Dominic Reyes, man.
The first time he got knocked out before Pereira, wasn't Yuri still in a winning streak? He just had to vacate because of his shoulder, right?
Yeah, Yuri was still on the up and up.
Damn, so that was prime Yuri.
I don't think we really understood what Yuri was capable of at that time.
No.
He's just so unorthodox. It's like, how does this work for you? But he's got good size, Yuri, and that Reyes knockout, man. It was like, dude.
That spinning elbow was crazy. Perfect timing.
That was nasty work. Let's see what this. I think he's asking Eugene a question. Let's see.
Por que os fãs e os promotores do UFC podem contar com você, podem confiar em você como grande promotor dos cards do UFC?
John, last time you had a press conference, you stole.
Oh my goodness!
At least it's not the Dustin Poirier.
As a UFC announcer with the front row seat, I've been.
Michael, you sent your message to Bryce Mitchell. So, as a promoter of your own fights, what is your message to promote this fight? And can the UFC count on you to promote fights going forward?
Por que eu sou promotor de evento? No 3, tá? 1, 2, 3.
Why do I promote good events? 3.
Hey, they did actually bark.
I put a lot of.
He tried it, man. He tried it.
No, but they did actually bark when I listened to I saw the same post on social media.
I bet it was loud. I bet it was louder.
Bro, no, they edited it though where it was silent. So I'm thinking he was like this, and they edited it where nobody was saying nothing back. So they was lying on the internet. They did bark back. It just wasn't a lot of people.
It wasn't a lot of people.
Hey man, it was
dogs down in my day.
They put a cricket. There was nobody.
I seen this on Twitter too.
Oh, those dogs that like to come up to the farm. They kill my animals. They come to harm me and my family, and they come barking. You know what they all got in common? They squeal right before they die.
Bro, time out. I feel like Bryce, every fight, bro, every face-off, every press conference, he always has that moment. Dude, damn, I guess I don't really want to say this because of the shit that he said, but you can kind of say for the younger generation who's watching this, yeah, Bryce kind of has aura a little bit. He never looks intimidating at all.
Dude, I was telling Michael, I was like,
did you see that face off?
I literally tweeted maybe 30.
It's always been like that though.
I literally tweeted an hour and a half ago. I said that was one of the face-offs of the year because I was telling Michael, Bryce might lose. Anybody can lose. But I said, he's not a punk.
Bro, that's what's kind of making me pick Bryce a little bit. I was right when this fight was announced, I was like, oh, hell yeah. I got Silva. But bro, Bryce, in that first little press conference that they did last month, he didn't look intimidated with the barking. Even in that last one, bro, he didn't flinch. I don't know, bro. Bryce, even against Ilya, when he said that Bible verse, when Ilya told him that he was going to have to knock him out, and he said something about walking through the shadows or something like that, dude, that shit is I don't know. I like to see that from fighters. No, and I think that's kind of cool.
I was going to say, to your point, Bryce isn't a scary dude.
No, and it's just crazy because I met him in person. I seen him. He's not a scary looking human, but that motherfucker is not scared of nothing, bro.
Yeah, Bryce not scary. He just scared of these girls. I guess there's a witch who
that goth girl. Yeah, I'm
he got robbed by a golf girl, man. But hey, man, I can't really judge because these girls are moving out here crazy, man. They'll do anything to you. But hey, let's see.
Bryce Mitchell, cara, eu não quero fazer você dormir mal. Como você já tá sonhando comigo, tenta me esquecer por uma noite.
Listen, Bryce, I want you to sleep well. I don't want you to lose sleep over this. I know you've been dreaming about me already. So can you just, hey, try to sleep well tonight, brother.
Ei, peraí. Bryce Mitchell, eu respeito a sua carreira, o atleta que você é. Eu sei que você tá me olhando aqui, eu tô te vendo também. Mas, meu irmão, tá vendo essa TV na sua frente? Olha bem pro meu olho. Eu vou te nocautear.
Yo, Bryce, I respect you as an athlete, and I know you're looking at me through that TV. Just look through those eyes. Look in my eyes. I'm going to knock you out, brother.
Dude, I'm hyped for this fight.
I'm hyped for that one.
They sold it, bro.
Let's see who stands victorious.
A gente já falou muito, você já respondeu sobre o fato de que existem algumas críticas sobre você representar o México e o Brasil ao mesmo tempo. Ontem o Yair tocou nesse tema também. Não sei como, eu gostaria de saber como você recebeu isso, mas também eu lembrei de uma entrevista sua no passado que você mencionou que não só Brasil e México, mas queria que todos os fãs da América Latina te representassem. Por que você acha que você é capaz de conseguir com a
No, he said he didn't appreciate that much. And I just want to know from you, because one day you said, I don't only, in a previous interview, I don't only represent Brazil or Mexico, but I represent all of Latin America. What do you think about that?
Eu acho que é fácil, né? A galera pode falar o que quiser, quem tem boca fala o que quer. Mas às vezes também é difícil escutar o que não quer, né? Então, deixa ele falar o que ele quiser, não tenho nenhum problema. Simplesmente, eu sei do meu trabalho, eu sei o que eu faço, eu sou muito grato pelo que o México tem feito comigo. São situações completamente diferentes às coisas que ele mencionou ontem, da minha vida e da vida ali nos Estados Unidos.
To talk. If you got a mouth, you're going to talk. You say things that you want. You may hear things that you don't. I'll tell you what, man, I'm very grateful for Mexico. It's not our stories, our life stories are completely different. I'm so grateful for what Mexico has given me. I represent both countries, and if you're going to talk, you're going to talk. I don't care.
We could kind of touch on that, though, right? What these fighters, what country they want to represent, and it's up to the fighter, right? But in boxing, you have somebody like Teofimo Lopez. I can't stand that scoundrel. One day he shows up with the Puerto Rican flag. The next day it's the Dominican Republic. The next day he got a USA flag. It's like, dude, just decide on your identity. So I think that's what Yair Rodriguez was getting into for this, because he was kind of saying that Diego shouldn't be representing Mexico as far as like the flag bearing.
Yeah.
And then you have a guy like Henry Cejudo. As soon as he left Mexico and got here, he said, I'm American. He said, I'm not associated with Mexico. Hey, man, I think you're wrong for that, but do what you want to do. But, and we'll get into it in the video, but what are you guys' thoughts on these guys kind of I don't want to say misrepresenting because I don't know their motives. I don't know that insight. So I can't really say Diego is being a sellout. I can't say all that. But Yair thinks Diego's a sellout, I guess. So what are you guys' thoughts on that?
I'll let Mike go on that first because I kind of have to, like, I don't know.
No, that's all good.
I mean,
I ain't got no thoughts on that.
I think Yair, I saw like a paragraph he said about it. And I mean, I think he had a good little, like, if you've already read it, because I don't remember it, but
I know what you're talking about. I think
he made a couple of good points, but I mean, MVP, you know, he doesn't have the flag. If you look by his name, he doesn't have the flag. Like, at the end of the day, bro, Diego Lopez is just Diego Lopez. I don't think like, when people are looking at him to represent a certain country, I just think that's kind of goofy to me. Like, just let Diego Lopez be Diego Lopez. Like, just like how MVP was saying, like, you're not your country, you're a human. Like, you're yourself.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
But I mean, I'm just a regular American citizen in America. I don't really feel that's, like, I guess that's something I take for granted, I guess. But I mean, I don't know. I don't really feel like I got to represent America or anything like that. I'm not a native to like Brazil or Mexico. So me personally, I can't really touch up on that just because I don't have to go through that in my experience.
No, I feel you. And to your point, MVP after he fought Shara Bullet, he was on some, we're all humans. Now, I disagree with what he said, but it takes a lot for me to hate somebody. I'm not tripping over what he said. But I think later in the episode, Yair tries to get at him because Yair wants to stand on Mexico business. And I'm not sure if Diego Lopez is Mexico or Argentina. I don't
Dude,
really
when
know.
I first heard of Diego Lopez, like when I first saw him fight, like when he was still unranked, I thought he was Mexican. Like I didn't know he was Brazilian. So I mean, that's all I'm gonna really say on that.
Gotcha.
But there's also like some deeper beef behind that. Apparently,
the people got beef, bro.
it's like a gym beef. It was like a they jumped one of Yair's guys, or like best buddies.
There's a story to
UFC
your point.
fighter.
There's a story to your point, and it has to do with like the gym trainer or like the manager or something like that. Because I read it today, and there's like the beef isn't just this. This is a surface level. I think that's kind of your point. And for anyone watching, Diego Lopez, Yair Rodriguez, the beef goes past just Mexico flags. It's managers, fights in gyms and stuff like that.
Team beef, really.
Yeah, team beef. Yeah, team beef. So I don't want that to get lost on people, but I think we're gonna see it comes up in press conferences. So, Michael, I'll let you cook after we do the next thing.
Go ahead, sir.
Ainda falando sobre isso no seu pé, mas
oh my goodness.
Hey,
As a UFC
I
announcer
think
with
what
a
they're
front row
trying to tell you,
seat, I've
bro,
been
is
known
just it
saber
takes
como
one
você
pick,
lida com
one
essa
big kick on
divisão
DraftKings.
de
You can get a
o recado que você
what is it,
deixa
YouTube
pros que
Premium?
apoiam e também para aqueles que de alguma maneira
I wouldn't pay for that even if I
And
had
still
it.
on the whole representing Brazil and Mexico, there are some fans in Brazil that also resent about that, but mostly we support you and we like what you're doing. From
Acho que todo presente.
Silva, queria saber como que você falando de você, a gente
I'm just
fight, and I want to know what you think about that. Also, about the promotion, all throughout this, y'all, the way you've been talking, the way you've been managing this promotion, is this something that you kind of planned it so you jump up and prop up your personality so people would know more about you? Because this fight has become a lot more because of the way that you handle yourself.
Cara, não, eu olhando bem isso, sendo bem sincero, quem promoveu tudo isso aqui foi ele.
I've been doing nothing. Actually, the guy that promoted his fight was him because of all the baloney that's been talking about. Really, the only thing I had to do was open up my daycare so I could educate him. So that's the next step. And as far as I really don't know what's up, what he's talking about, because I've never seen a man talk about Jesus and have guns in the same shirt. So I don't know what's up. So that's him. He's been promoting it. It's all him.
Question for John after to be.
Michael,
what's up?
You kind of talked about, and I'm not trying to crucify Bryce, but he's like, why are you acting so fake righteous? When we talked earlier today, right?
Yeah, I peeped that too.
And you guys can both, Adrian, I know you might be in a tougher spot, but if you guys want to touch on it maybe for like 10 seconds or, you know, I guess to me it's just fighting. It's like guys can trash talk, bro. Bryce, somebody
I just
can
don't remember
trash
him
talk.
always being this intense about it. I just don't remember.
I think he's always that intense though. Bryce is an intense dude.
Yeah, but as far as like the religion thing, like I don't remember it being this intense until this recently.
You could be right there.
I remember him bringing the Bible in the cage, but like talking about like how he got possessed by demons and stuff like that, like having lustful dreams. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's something behind the scenes. Maybe this is like a really big payday for him. I bet that Ilya fight was probably a big payday too, because I think they were both undefeated. But I'm sure there's probably something behind the scenes. But I did meet Bryce in person, and besides all that, man, that's just a questionable thing because like he really was a good dude. Like he was a nice guy. He was chill. And then right when I took that picture with him, that stuff came out, and I don't know. I mean,
and I don't want to act like because me personally, I still like Bryce. I don't agree with everything he said, but I like him as a dude. And I can kind of separate things, but for him to come out and say, man, Jan Silva, he's a demonic woman in my dreams. I was like, bro. You haven't women jump you in your dreams, bro. You haven't women.
No, I mean,
that was the funniest part to me. But don't get it twisted though. That's real. If you're spiritually inclined, you know that's real. These women.
Yeah, like, dude, the way he said, he's so like intense about it that like, bro, if O'Malley came out and said some shit like that, I would not believe him. But when Bryce said something like that, I don't know why. I just want to believe him. I don't know why.
Dude, I believe him. I believe,
like, dude, I really did. Like when he came out in his video and he said that, I was like, you know what? I really don't think he's bullshitting. Like, I think he definitely was able to sleep, but I really do think he was probably having bad dreams. Like, I mean, I just think that he's probably doing a little bit of extra stuff because you got to promote yourself, you got to promote the fights. But I mean, I don't know. I'm not. I mean, he's been in there with the best. Like, he's fought Ilya, he's fighting John. Like, I would still like to talk to him and pick his brain about fighting. I don't even want to. Only about fighting. I respect Bryce as a fighter. I mean, we're all humans. We're all are a little different. We all have different opinions on stuff. So I'm not going to judge him and dislike him. I just think there's stuff that I don't know. I was raised differently. I was raised different, and I just have different education, I guess I can say.
And I think, to your point, I have a different education too. I have a Christian background. Still am Christian. I have different beliefs concerning the belief system, but my point being that Bryce, he almost comes across as so delusional that it's kind of funny. But at the same time, I'm like, as someone of the faith, I'm like, I don't think he's lying, bro. No,
I just think there's some other stuff like his his conspiracy things, bro. I feel like that's just what happens. Like, honestly, bro, I think Tim Welch and Sean
flat, man. I believe him. The earth is
if
flat.
you go back, Tim Welch and Sean and Bryce, they've had like this 4 year thing, bro. Like, they've been going back and forth about like the world being flat and stuff.
Yeah.
And bro, man, Bryce he's just different. I think that's what happens when someone is like, we didn't really learn everything like correctly in school. Like, there was stuff, like Bryce has a point about that, but a lot of that stuff, like, bro, the way it is worded on the internet, if you read it and you look at it that long, like, you're gonna start believing it, I guess.
Adrian, man, there will be a whole nother hour conversation concerning how we've been.
Bryce has a lot of topics we can talk about.
Yeah, he has a lot of topics. Here's the part where Yair calls out Diego. So I want to, because we'd be on here forever. So let me just go to this part, and then Michael, you can.
As a UFC announcer with a front row seat, I've been known to.
Michael, how many losses does he have in a row?
As a UFC announcer with a front row seat, I've been known to get pretty excited.
That minimum pay needs to be more than 10K with all those ads.
No sé, que la responda ya.
No, dime tú.
You have it. How many losses in a row does he have?
Suficiente.
Yair, ¿qué te parecen esas expresiones? Culón.
Oh.
¿Culón?
Oh.
Dímelo.
Culón.
Eres
culón, ¿sabes por qué es culón? No le pegaron a Diego contra tu
Does the translator know about something?
No le pegaron a Marco contra tu equipo.
Escucha.
Le pegaron a Marco entre tú y tu equipo, ¿sí o no? Esperando el momento correcto estaba para decirte esto en tu pinche cara, loco.
Oh, we were
Tú me la vas a pagar a mí por Marcos, güey.
And you guys
si me pelas la verga, güey.
Me.
You got some Latino on Latino crime, man.
Every time he does this.
¿Qué bueno?
Bajan aquí de mi equipo y será la consecuencia con confusión.
Don't talk about my team, man. Don't talk about my team.
That's what Adrian was saying. It's a team beef.
He said, "Don't talk about my team, man."
Bro, but in the very beginning, like right when Yair said that, like, I don't know, bro, it sounded like he said a name. You can hear the translator said,
how many losses does he have in a row?
¿Cuántas derrotas tiene consecutivas? No sé, que la responda ya.
No, dime tú.
You have it. How many losses in a row does he have?
Suficiente.
I'll be right back.
Yair, ¿qué te parecen esas expresiones? Culón.
Oh.
Culón.
See, the translator was like,
culón.
Yeah, I hear you.
Culón, ¿sabes por qué es culón? No le pegaron a Diego contra tú y tu equipo.
Say it to my face.
No le pegaron a Diego no le pegaron a Marco contra tú y tu equipo. Escucha, le pegaron a Marco entre tú y tu equipo, ¿sí o no?
if they would have fight, though, that would not go good for Yair.
Yair can fight, bro.
Yeah, that's a weird fight. That's a weird fight. But bro, he lost to Brian Ortega. And what would the? I mean, no, that's MMA math. That shit don't work. I'm getting caught up on MMA math.
Don't talk about my team, man. Don't talk about my team. Don't talk about my team.
What is y'all ears wearing though? What the hell?
That's a Hawaiian suit.
That shit is not
This is Sir Bryce. Bryce, after the fight, would you be open to saying a prayer with Mr. Silva?
I'm always open to saying a prayer with anybody.
Diego Lopez. Poor Bryce, bro.
That's the fight.
My team is here. They know what you did. My team is here. They know what you did.
Mucho cuidado, mucho cuidado. No se olvida cuando amenazaste a mi compañero de equipo.
Watch out, bro. Watch out.
Escucha, una mujer no se amenaza.
Stop with the threat.
You know what this reminds me of? You remember when Bobby Green almost got jumped by Armand?
Yeah, I remember.
I feel like, dude, this is what this reminds me of, bro. I'm surprised. Like, they must not be in the same fighter hotel.
If they were, it would be throwing hands, dog.
I guarantee
I
you.
remember
I
that
haven't
Bobby Green
fucking
video
betted yet,
talking about.
but I feel like Diego's not staying in that fighter hotel. I just have a feeling he's not.
I wish I could understand the logistics of all that, because some guys have enough money where they can stay out of it, things of that nature. I'm broke though, so I have no part.
I don't know how that works for the UFC. I think it might be like a personal. A lot of them, like, I don't know how that goes.
Even then, though, and I'll ask. In your situation, right? Amateur fighter on the come up. Do you find that promotions are offering you, hey, we take care of your travel and lodging, or is it mainly drive in, we get your lodging, or what are the sort of situations? We don't have to put blast on anybody, but
RDC does a great job. They'll give you you get a free room, like fighters will get a free room.
Gotcha.
He'll give you like a card when you get there after the weigh-ins. But gas and all of that, like to get up there, like for me, like Texas to Arkansas, that's all on me. But once I get there, he'll pay for the room.
So let me ask you a question, man.
Yes, sir.
Do you think, in my opinion, if you have a champion who's been an important champion to your organization, do you think it's fair to pay for travel and stuff like that? For example, maybe someone like Trey, who's defended multiple times. Do you think it's fair to not only cover a room, but also let's cover your expenses for your travel as well?
I mean, I guess if that's what they want. I mean, for me personally, I don't really need that. It would make a. I wouldn't have to get
a champion and you're defending like 6 times in a row. That would seem pretty cool.
You're an amateur though, bro. I think that's kind of the point. Like, I think it's cool that promotions do that, but that's money that you could be putting for maybe a better warm up in the back. Maybe we can have snacks and water back there. We don't have any of that. So maybe instead of giving the money to the champion as an amateur, depending on the organization, there's probably better things that money could be used to. But I mean, if you want them to live that champ lifestyle, then go ahead. As long
I don't
as
know if it's so much as a champ lifestyle. I think I bring it up because you guys spend a lot of your personal money, and it's not nothing against a promoter or nothing like that. I think because I just feel like because with the amateurs, you really don't get offered stuff like that. And I understand if you're just coming up, but I feel like if you're an established champion in a promotion, there should be some benefits outside of that.
I think so. If I'm looking at it like that, because amateurs, bro, I'm paying for the trip up there. I'm paying to pretty much fight because I got to pay for my license.
Everybody, that's what I'm saying. But
I think so. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's fair. That would be cool. I think that's something they should do.
And I'm not shitting on nobody's promotion. I'm just me and Harrison talk about it a lot because I feel like a lot of amateurs don't get paid no money, and you guys, you're amateurs, you're not going to get paid money to begin with. But it's a lot. Me and Harrison touch on it a lot as far as
mixed martial arts is a cold game as far as pay.
Yeah,
you guys are still getting hurt out there, even though it's amateur. You still getting fucked up. So.
Exactly, bro. And we most of us still all have work or school the next day. So
you got to go back to work.
Yeah, and me and Michael, we're advocates for fighter pay because how are we gonna make it happen? We don't know, but dude,
Just got to keep doing what you're doing, bro.
Yeah, these guys got to get paid, man. And me personally, mixed martial arts is my favorite sport. I like basketball. I like football. I have my heart for those sports, but MMA is my favorite sport. Second to that is boxing. But I know how boxing is getting paid. They're getting paid. At this point, bare knuckle FC is getting paid more than mixed martial arts. That's the nasty part.
Harrison knows he does matchmaking.
Yeah, and so I'm seeing the fighter purses when I'm doing matches and stuff. I'm not going to put anything out there. I'm like, dude, there's more money in bare knuckle than MMA.
I think it's BS, bro.
If you're just starting off, though.
Yeah, huh?
If you're just starting off.
Yeah, well, yeah, if you're just starting off, yeah. But I'm saying I've seen enough purses, man. But at the same time, MMA, there's no more glory than MMA. Fighting in the UFC on an undercard is more glorious than pretty much anything. It's the UFC, dude.
Yeah,
These
that's
are the
true.
best cats of the, and then at that point you're getting 10 and 10 deals. So 10,000 to show, 10,000 to win. So bare knuckle though might give you 5,000. But that's actually kind of too generous. Maybe 3 and 3, but I don't want to poop on any organizations, promotions, someone like that. But go ahead.
From what I heard from like UFC, I heard some of them, like depending on who you are, if you do a good job of promoting yourself outside of like what they can do for you, you can like kind of negotiate that contract. I think a lot of it, fighters should automatically be paid more off the rip. I do agree, but I think fighters also have to do a better job of negotiating business contracts and stuff like that. Like most of the time, people will just get the 4-fight deal and they're just going to take it because they get to say they fight in the UFC, but maybe it's good to have someone there that can actually read the numbers, maybe get you a better number. What I would like to do when I make it to the UFC or one or wherever I go is I don't want to do the show and win bonus. I just want the show. Like instead of getting 10-10, just let me get all 20.
No, that's what a fighter I talked to told me, because I've talked to a couple guys who say it's flat or show then win. Some guys said it's flat. I don't really quite know the bare knuckle landscape, but you know, Adrian, when you make it to one UFC, the premier kickboxing promotions, to your point, you got to have someone who really wants your best interests. None of these rascals, because there's so many managers who are rascals, dude. As you can imagine, it's the fight game. So
I'm always going to try to keep my circle as small as possible. So that's really one of my biggest motivations on why I want to make it, is just because, I mean, dude, I would love to see, like, bro, I just want to bring my small circle of ethos and my family and my friends, like, to, dude, it would be lit to bring them to like a Vegas fight trip or something like that. And I know those people will never do me wrong. Like if I'm winning, we're all winning. So I'm always going to try to keep those people in my life and helping me make my decisions when I move forward.
No, I feel you. And keeping it between your team, probably the best way to go. I guess we'll end the show on this face-off because I thought it was a real good face-off with Mitchell and with Gene Pants Silva.
Yeah,
I'm calling him Gene Pants Silva now. But it was a good face-off.
Yeah, they're gonna hurt each other for sure. You think he's feeling the hype?
Ooh.
Silva.
I think he's more nervous than Bryce.
I think he's embracing it though. I think they're both embracing it. It's a good face-off, man.
That's lit.
Dude,
didn't even blink, bro.
Didn't blink. Let's go with the Volk face-off. Let me. Oh my goodness, one of Michael's ads.
John Annie. Not John Annie.
As a UFC announcer with a front row seat.
I want to see what Volk's looking like.
Damn, bro, Diego's huge.
Yeah, Diego's big.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but
I think they have a healthy respect for each other. I think they're both coming in to kill. But that Bryce Mitchell face-off, that was the real deal.
Facts, bro. That stole the show, honestly.
That was the real deal. And that
So did
fight.
the
Go ahead.
little interaction with Diego and Yair. I feel like more people were talking about that than Diego and Volk now.
I agree. We got some fights though this weekend, and most importantly, we got the next RDC card. Adrian's fighting Trey. People, I need y'all to tap in. Me and Michael will be tapped in.
Watch along.
We're gonna do a watch along for that card, and we're having Dewan on this weekend, but we're doing a watch along for that card. It's gonna be bonkers. So people tap in with us. And we went on hour 30 minutes, man. We were supposed to go in like 20 minutes. And here we are. Adrian, did you want to get off any last comments about your fight? Anything?
So shout out to y'all for giving me this platform, like always. Anytime y'all want me on the show, just hit me up. I'm gonna try to make something work whenever I get off or whatever. I love being on the show. Y'all are awesome people. So whenever y'all are free, just hit me up. I got y'all. Shout out everyone at Ethos and Tyler that's helping me. I feel the support strong coming in May 10th. We're going to enemy territory, but I feel like it's home. That's where I like to be. So I'm prepared for a war. I think it's going to be a fun fight, great fight. You got me, you got Cody, you got JJ, you got Tyler. It's stacked. Great card, great energy. 4-0, team 1 on top, all of 2025 until we decide. Probably 2040, maybe 2045. Who knows? But shout out to y'all. Shout out to Ethos, and thank y'all. That's all I can really say. And one more shout out to Dewan for giving me another opportunity for this. I appreciate that. I know you're probably going to be seeing this because you're going to be here Saturday. And shout out to you, Mike. I DM'd Harrison. I'm not going to say too much about it just because, kind of connections and burning a bridge like we were talking about earlier. Right. But people, make sure you read up on both sides or whenever anything is, whatever the case is, political or anything. Don't just believe one article, one note, one anything. Make sure you always try to see both sides of the story. Same thing for when you hear something about like a human that comes out. Maybe something got dropped and it makes them seem bad, but maybe that's not the full story. Make sure you read up on both sides and don't get fooled by the internet, y'all.
Yeah, and to Adrian's point, people, we have to think for ourselves. You have to use your own critical thinking. You have to see something, understand what's really going on before you jump to conclusions.
The media is going to make you want to think a certain way, so you gotta actually do real research.
Yeah, don't be brainwashed by the media. I'm a super huge advocate for that. I'm on the media every day, but I have to understand what's being fed to me that's not really the truth. So people, sift through that information. Adrian, once again, thank you. It was kind of last minute.
Thank you.
But I think I told you last week, I was like, I want to make sure you hop on this week to make your announcement, which is Trey versus Adrian Mumphrey, kickboxing, title 185.
185.
This is gonna be a movie. It's going to be Inception. It's going to be everything you want to see in a fight. And Trey, he'll be healthy. Adrian's going to be healthy. Easier weight cut. And we want the best for both fighters. But, Michael, did you have any closing words?
No, I don't have no closing words. I appreciate you coming on. I'm going to take my ass to bed. That's my closing words.
Yeah, you a loser. You a bum.
I got to get up at 5:30. What you got to do?
Nothing. I got work.
I'm waking up early too, but appreciate you though.
No, I appreciate you, Adrian, bro. I told you.
And Adrian, obviously, this Saturday, I think I want to do a live stream with Mike. So you're obviously welcome to jump on, be on the panel. So I don't want you to get.
I would love to, bro.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about order. I was gonna go to Buffalo Wild Wings. Me and my friends, we call it B-dubs. I don't know if anybody else calls it B-dubs, but
you down here, yeah.
I think I'm just gonna. I think I'm gonna buy the card. To be honest, I mean it's a stacked card. So
yeah, no, and feel free to jump on. I think we're gonna be running a watch along. I'm kind of conflicted because my favorite boxer, Boots Ennis, Jerome Boots Ennis, is fighting Saturday night too.
Who does he fight?
Real wild. Yeah, Boots is fighting. So
Who does he fight?
he's fighting a guy named Stanionis, who's like, I think he's undefeated. But that's gonna be a scrap. The UFC is gonna be
that's an underrated fight.
Yeah,
Just on the
that's
wrong
underrated
weekend.
fight.
That's just on the wrong weekend.
Right, exactly. So I'm gonna be watching any fights regardless. Like I said, Adrian, just hey, I'm trying to jump on the show. You're good. We're not stressing anything. Michael, Michael,
We'll make it work no matter what. Real talk.
Michael, did you want to sign us out?
Yeah, this is Draconian Combat, episode 61. Adrian Mumphrey. Adrian Mumphrey, my bad.
You're good.
Versus Trey Frazier.
Yes, sir. May 10th.
Yes, sir. May 10th.
May 10th. We out.
All right, y'all.
Yes, sir. Peace. Thank y'all.